Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and Black Ice version 12 and a UK campaign where in the last episode we'd launched a pretty major and sizable invasion of Italy in the mainland, and Italy has capitulated. Germany actually annexed them as part of that capitulation once we'd reached kind of up towards here. The fall of Rome was what seemed to do it and to kick that into gear. It's quite interesting, though, that it coincided with the American invasion, and I think it took down their national unity pretty sizably. Now, what that does mean is that we've wiped out a pretty substantial amount of units from the board, kind of across the board. And Romania, Hungary, and Bulgaria are still holding down a really massive amount of troops. And from what I can tell, I don't think there's a lot of forces in Italy with which to try and counteract us. There's also little spots of kind of UK and Italian units kind of here and there. So hopefully they'll continue to cause problems for the Germans because, well, if we look towards like Moscow and this area, we can see that the Italians have actually created a little possible encirclement, and they are near to Smolensk and Vertebinsk. Now, Leningrad has still fallen, and in the north I wouldn't say they're going perfectly, but in the south, there's an offensive taking place in and around Kharkov. They've retaken Verezhny, and they've retaken Kursk. So as long as they can keep pushing and retake Bryansk, there is currently some units in Homel at the moment, which is very good, and some units north of Kiev. So the hope will be that we can keep pushing around there. Now, in the far east, we are struggling to maintain our little defensive position in this part of the world, but we are getting there. So I think we've got what is a relatively straightforward defensive line in place. In fact, I'm actually going to move you over there, Mr. Ordwingate, and we'll keep Murchison, whatever his name is, in place to beat back this. But yeah, we are slowly but surely consolidating our supply situation over there. And yeah, we're on to the next thing now. So let's keep moving, and we're going to be breaking, I think this is the Gothic line, isn't it? Because there's the Gustav line and the Gothic line that we're going to be dealing with. So yeah, let's go and continue our adventure around here. And the main thing is going to be supplies going forwards. Okay, so we've broken through the Gothic line here. And then we're going to need to make a choice about whether or not we want to spread into France, or whether or not we want to try and push up through the Alps and Austria into Vienna, Nuremberg, and Stuttgart. We'll have to make a choice, but we'll see. We'll see what's best. And okay, yep, so the 2nd New Zealand Division under Freiburg has just moved into place. We are being counterattacked by the looks of it. I see a German tank division attempting that. Failing at it would be, I think, a more accurate response. Yeah, so we've got a little loss there. And it's interesting we've got some French divisions helping us in the Far East. Unexpected. And we did get an event to get a little bit more manpower as well. I did forget to mention that. Okay, good. That's what I like to see. Move you back down there, and yeah, let's bring you into place in this part of the world. And I'm sorry for the slight cut in there, guys, but we are back with it now. And we have got John Curry, who is defending himself from the 21st Infantry Division, which I think are the only real units in this part of the world that we've got to worry about, to be honest. I'm almost wanting to move in and around that hard point if I can, to be honest, rather than anything else. Let's move around it rather than trying to do anything else. And we can leave it for some of our other forces to get into place. Oh, and we've just managed to capture ourselves 2 garrison units in a little encirclement and a Volkssturm division. How good. And if we can move up towards Ravenna, and then Chogia and Padova towards Venice, there won't be anything wrong with that. And our supply situation should improve substantially in a moment, because there is a rather large port at Brindisi that we're going to be grabbing that will make up for some of the most recent supply issues that we've been experiencing. Still losing fuel every day, but it isn't quite as bad as it was previously. Okay. Although 3,000 is quite a lot of a loss. Let's attach you in somewhere. We can give you to the 2nd Corps. Yep, that's fine. Let's start moving you on up. Okay, and yeah, we'll leave you behind. Okay, and we've got one single rather irritating garrison division over there that we need to clear out. Okay, and yeah, let's start moving around the flank with a pretty large amount of our infantry. So we're moving up to Bologna and Modena. And yeah, okay. Another infantry division over there. Yeah, our light tanks and things are moving along quite quickly. Oh yeah, the organisation over there is not going to be a good help for us. And the 13th Panther Division is a relatively difficult nut to crack. I would like to ideally surround, if I could, over there. Because it would be better to try and surround it than let it reform into something cohesive. And yeah, let's move you on up. And some of our units are lagging behind. You're going to take Crouton? It is a little bit slow and steady. So, yeah, we've breached this line quite nicely. Monty we can send up with the 8th Army group. And let's chuck the Marines in as well. And then let's take the Northumbrian division and get them to go there. Let's try and get a surround if we can. Right, interdiction tactics 43, superiority, commanded decision making. And truck and primer. There's some 43 levels to do there. Can take away drop tanks. Some of the submarine class ones are always good. And radar. Yeah, let's do the radar. And I'm always wondering, should I be doing a trade for fuel for some of the money reserve I have at the moment? To try and put a dent in it. And the answer is, I would like to, but I can't. And it's annoying because we're getting the problem. The problem we're getting is the convoyed out aspect. So there is a supply bottleneck happening somewhere with a supply column. I'm going to assume that it's going to be somewhere weird. If we click the supply map mode, we can probably see where it's happening. So you're okay. That one's fine. No. Okay, it could be that one. Because you've got a bottleneck there of... You need 5,000, so... It's going to be a bottleneck somewhere that's annoying to deal with. It's really boring automating, like, non-automating all the supply stuff, to be honest. It's one of the worst parts of the game, so... I don't know whether or not just to give myself fuel, to be honest with you, with the point that we're at with the game. Because it's just an issue with the actual game itself, rather than anything that we're doing. Okay, and we are knocking through here really well. Let's take you and go over there. Hopefully you can finish the job. Okay then, Freiburg, let's take you around there. Take Girdwood in that direction. And we'll take, yeah, the Desert Rats Brigade group that way, and we'll take all of our fighters and things and get them into place in Roma, because we can repair them from there. And then we can do a little bit of ground attack. Okay, some more infantry that we've managed to capture down here. It looks like we might actually even be able to get all of these units surrounded, which would be marvelous. Okay, and there's a HQ unit that just broke immediately, so we're now dealing with open country. And we can move our Highland units back in over there. And you had a little breakage, so we could go land. We'll go grab a division from there and a couple of the garrison units and maybe bring them in for a little bit of extra oomph. Okay, and we are readily outflanking them now. More infantry, thank you very much. Let's move you up in this direction. Let's try and cut off any chance that they have for reinforcement. We'll stop that attack there, yep, at Venezia. Let's take all of you and move them up there. Let's take the 8th. We can do a whole lot of good by moving the Australians up in that direction. And yeah, we can strategically redeploy with these units, because they're moving quite a bit slower than the others. Oh, and a combat ace. Good. Okay, and we should have the best of a counterattack like this. Did they decide to move any units off? It doesn't look like they did. They are concentrating on trying to hold this back. Okay. Not bad. Let's try and maybe take Freiburg into this battle as well. I just want to stop any chance of them being able to escape. And, oh, I see a little bit at Milan. Okay, and then we'll move you towards Verona. Let's go that way. Okay, the encirclement job is finishing up. And they've really slowed down, like massively so. Okay, there's a single garrison division that's attempting to beat us back, but yeah, mountain terrain is not good for tank warfare. Okay, is there a unit in Genoa? It doesn't look like it. Okay, let's bring you into there. And that does look like a bit of a victory in that part of the world, which was what we wanted. A nice, easy close-up of the pocket in this part of the world. And then, yep, support attack there. Okay, and I do see that division is fairly healthy. Okay. And a little victory in this part of the world. Wouldn't be the worst thing. And yeah, a nice little move to Trento. Okay, and yeah, move the Australians up. We can send that West Riding Division to provide support there, and then start outflanking with our tanks. And our motorized infantry. Okay, I see for resources. We could do the one for oil. Because we will gain a tiny amount of fuel for it. And I think I just saw a bit of Lend-Lease hit us. Thank you, America. It's about time. Alright, acoustic torpedo. One more there. Good. That's what I like to see. Okay, and supply is going to start being the issue of the day. Let's try and take the tanks back that way. So, yeah, you're all hitting quite nicely there. You're going to go into here. Okay, and I see an attempt at trying to form a new front line going on. What are we fighting? Anti-air? Anti-air and garrison? Yeah, nothing of any note. The divisions that were worrying are going to collapse. And how is Germany's surrender progress? So they've got a national unity at the moment of 73%, which is pretty low. What about over here? So you're being held in place. Yeah, let's take you that way. We'll take you this way. Move you into position here. We can move you back in. And we can send you down there as well, actually. Okay, so a front line kind of just shy of Vietnam is happening. We're going to fight ourselves, I would imagine, into a bit of a stalemate until the Americans get their act together. Their navy's looking a little bit mauled. Not the good kind of mauling. Okay, export of zinc. And you've got this, come on. The convoyed out thing is getting remarkably annoying. And it does look like we will beat this division out of here, given enough time. Okay, another unit there, up to 17. Ah, good. They saw the writing was on the wall and they left it at that. So the 4th Indian Division, we're going to move you there. We're moving up to deal with this. We'll take the Australians in that direction. And yeah, we've got some pretty difficult terrain here, but once we're through the mountains, all of Germany opens up. And we don't have to take much of Germany for things to fall into place. I'm hoping we get another fuel event in the next couple of days. Right, what's happening with that? Because Because the usage is really low. And your convoyed in and convoyed out are matching each other. Return to stockpile 2000. So these numbers don't match up. Which is where it gets extremely frustrating. Where is that fuel one? Fuel consumption. So, yeah. A little bit on destroyers. Okay, let's try and, it's a lot of fuel, isn't it? Right, because the fuel system breaks after a certain point, I'm just going to do this because I'm fed up with it. So, we're at the point of the campaign where fuel shouldn't be a problem, but yet it is. And sometimes what happens when you're in the UK is all your fuel ends up going to like a random port, and I can't be asked to try and fix it, to be honest. So I'm going to not fix it. I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, and yeah, we'll move on up nicely. Let's move these tanks into position here. And yeah, we've got the Australians that are going in to try and help Cameron Nicholson. And, yeah, the London unit, let's move you on up. And let's get you into position over there as well. And yeah, let's finish these bits down here before doing anything else. Okay, and they've been fought to a standstill outside of Budapest. They have taken that one, but overall, Hungary is still hanging in there. And it doesn't need to hang in there for much longer because we're going to start being able to give it direct support if we're careful. Is that a Hungarian-German panzer unit fighting for them? Interesting. The Soviets are still keeping the majority of their forces tied down. Okay, and they're decreasing at 3 a day, so we're starting to get a victory here. Fire control system, let's take that off. Radar training at 44, that's fine. Take all of those off and away. Let's do, yeah, some of the destroyer ones. The sheer amount of divisions is the key at the moment for us. And yeah, we can chuck in yet another tank unit. And yeah, come on. Deal with the stupid rebellions, please. In this part of the world. That is your job. No more rebellions in India, please. Okay, let's move up all of our chain of command. Okay, and we've got you in place over there, which means we can move up the 42nd. Desmond Anderson is a very interesting name. Okay, and that tank division is going to cark it. Yeah, let's take both of you into there. Okay, and we're about to hit Austria. So we are in Italy stroke Austria territory at the moment. We're crossing into the border of the Reich now. And that is good. Good news. So we did lose that battle, but what we can do now is we can surround them. So and where they're not, yeah, where they've So they've moved out of the cap of the Venice region to give us enough time and space to effectively break through. And let's move on to Nice. Okay, they're attempting a counterattack. In fact, yeah, let's take the Battle Axe division and go that way. You guys, we want to head towards Torino. I'm going to take all of these divisions and go in this direction. I'm going to start slowly but surely retaking France. And catching the Greater Deutschland division is a pretty good get if we can do it. So surrounded on all sides. Starman's making its way over. We don't need to keep pushing from here. We can just form a little bit of a mountain line. I would like to take Innsbruck, though. Yeah, it does look like we've managed to do that. So, actually, Langfield, Innsbruck. Yeah, we're a stone throw from their nuclear reactor that they have in Vienna. So, that's pretty good going. A free front war seems to be a bit of a major problem for them. They've got the divisions to contain 2 fronts, but an extra one over here, it's probably a step too far. And we could even have our units fighting a little bit better if we were a little bit more careful. Limited combat potential on some of these. And yeah, now that's 1 unit in there. We're slowly going to liquidate that pretty easily. Okay, not bad. That's what I like to see. take the second armoured around there. And let's do a little encirclement action here. This is a very strong German division to have caught. Although, so's the 13th, to be fair. We're funneling a hell of a lot of supply onto the Italian peninsula. Cruiser anti-air focus? Yeah, probably. They're not good for kind of anything other than anti-air work, to be honest with you. By this point in the war. And I'm tempted to try and make a beeline towards our allies to try and take some of the pressure off them. But it might be better to try and move into Germany itself. Decisions. Okay, and the rate of advance is coming along quite nicely. Let's take you over to there. Verona's freed up, so a couple more divisions there. Anfield just got taken. Okay, and we're using a lot of supply. We can put a little bit of a positive variance into that just to lend a hand. Now let's kick the bucket there. Check. Well, that is a problem. Alright, let's move you to there. Okay, so we have well and truly spiked the hornet's nest over here in this part of the world. It's not good at all. Okay, and how are you looking? Good, that looks like victory to me. So let's try and move on Trieste. And Klagenfurt. We aren't far away, actually, from Hitler's main headquarters, which is kind of interesting. Support attack with both of those there. We can get you into position in this part of the world. We can move up to Kempten there. Yeah, it's not that far, actually. It's pretty close by. And we are starting to encounter some actual resistance now. Okay then, 13th, you're at 60% strength. You have at least fought bitterly. Bitterly in Italy. Yeah, that's a little joke from me to you. And okay, Cannes. Yes, so mountains. Let's try and take back Marseille. Okay, that's good. Now they shouldn't get into the combat here, to be honest with you. That garrison unit should easily fall away. So you can go over to here. And then we can take the 7th Armoured Rats and go that way. We can just clean up this part of the world. Get them over there. Send you in that direction as well. And then when you've taken that, we'll move you over there. And the rest of you will head this way, as will you. We want the majority of our units to head into the belly of the beast, rather than anywhere else. Okay, and we'll take you in that direction. Might be a difficult one to actually hit through at, to be fair. There is a German division there. Interesting. Let's try and take you into there. Let's try and get a few divisions. I would like to try and at least take this out. And yeah, Graz. Austria is always really bad terrain to try and get into Germany via, it must be said. Okay, another infantry unit's freed up over here. Let's take you there. Let's grab you. So we're going to go that way. Okay, Marines. That's all cleaned. Okay, we've finally carked it on the island of Borneo. By the looks of it. And 15 crude oil a day for money? Sure, why not? Now, we won't be able to take the Alpine Redoubt. Oh. Lieutenant General Sir Frederick Edgeworth Morgan, KCB, was a British Army officer that fought in both World Wars. He's both known as the Chief of Staff to the Supreme Allied Commander, COSSAC, the original planner of Operation Overlord. A graduate of the Royal Military Academy in Woolwich, Morgan was commissioned as second lieutenant in the Royal Field Artillery in 1913. During the First World War, he served on the Western Front as an artillery staff officer. Afterwards, he served 2 long tours of the British Army in India. Shortly before the outbreak of the Second World War in 1939, Morgan was promoted to brigadier and assumed command of the 1st Support Group of the 1st Armoured Division, which he led during the Battle of France. In May 1942, he became a lieutenant general and was given command of the 1st Corps. Morgan's headquarters was designated Force 125 and given the task of dealing with the German thrust through Spain to Gibraltar that never occurred. In March 1943, he was appointed Chief of Staff to the Allied... okay. When General Dwight Eisenhower became Supreme Allied Commander, Major General Bendel Smith became Chief of Staff to Supreme Headquarters, while Morgan became Deputy Chief of Staff. Okay, that was a bit of an interesting event. Didn't get us anything, it was just like a random bit of flavor text. And we are closing in on Munich now. The seat of Nazism, actually, even more than Berlin. So, that is good. We have made very good progress in this episode. I'm going to try and take you into over there. And we're about to take French soil back for the first time. Now, it'd be even better if we could get a little bit of extra support, to be honest with you. But that's okay. Okay, and they are still taking... Well, they're getting there a little bit in a couple of places, which isn't good. And if I could convince them to retreat, I would be very happy. Did they take that back? Ah, they did. Good. That's what I like to see. And the Germans are pushing again against the Soviets. It's a bit annoying. Like, all the work we're doing and they still can't sort themselves out. Okay, we'll pay the money. Right, we've got nylon now. And let's take everything out of upgrades and chuck it into reinforcement. Sorry, into supplies. Okay, yeah. Woods terrain isn't good for tanks, but it's better than fighting in mountains. Like, I'd quite like to set up a neat little defensive line in this part of the world. And we do have a little bit of surrender progress on Germany now. And I see a certain someone hiding over here. And the Romanian flak grouper all the way on in having a holiday down in southern France. Well, isn't that nice for them? Right, you're going to go over here like so, and you're going to go into this part of the world. And yeah, we'll take the West African division. And oh, we've captured Axis Sally. So, King, I am pleased to report that our forces have captured and arrested Rita Zucker, the infamous Axis Sally. She looks a bit cross-eyed in that photo. Our troops will no longer have to endure her endless propaganda broadcasts. This should definitely be a solid boost to morale. Historically, as the Axis army finally collapsed, Zucker went by train to her uncle's home in Turin, where she took refuge until her identification and arrest on June 5th. A correspondent from the American military magazine Stars and Stripes said that Zucker's well-known cross-eyed condition, she is cross-eyed, okay, did not detract from her attractiveness. True, her left eye is inclined to wander, but that cooey, sexy voice really has something to back it up. Ew, that's nasty. Newspapers in America were far more scathing. Soft-voiced Sally from Berlin found to be ugly ex-New York girl was a typical headline, with descriptions of the young mother as ugly and unattractive in person as her voice was appealing. Another journalist called her cross-eyed, bow-legged, and shallow-skinned. Axis Silly's off the air for good, which gets us a little bit of a land organisation, which is good for a month. So that's a worthwhile bonus. And yeah, we're green on supply, so all of our throughput is happening well. So both of you hopefully are... Yeah, you're going to win that. Being counterattacked by an SS Mountain unit. Somewhat interesting. And yeah, we're coming to the aid of our allies. That's what I like to see. And I want to retake Pex, I think it's called. Yeah, let's retake or move into here. So we are opposite Hitler's Alpine fortress, which is kind of fun. Captain, thank you. Okay, we're beating that division back. And that is actually a decent little motorized unit there, it must be said. Let's be a bit careful about that. And yeah, we can support with an infantry division over there to go deal with that. Take some more of the tanks up towards Trauersein, and then some hills, woods, and things are falling into place. Let's take the armor and go there. Okay, a lot of divisions being freed up. Oh, the mountain units decided to fall back from a defensible location to immediately counterattack. Bit weird. Wouldn't have been what I would have chosen to have done. And... okay, so we're now moving into kind of woody, hilly terrain. But... that's not bad at all. That's pretty good. That's what I want to see. And... if we can break out of the really bad areas. A little bit of armor causing us some problems, but not much. We're keeping the supply situation nice and green. William Fraser is in command over here. Don't think he's related to Bruce Fraser, do you? The naval admiral. Okay, so yeah, we're going to decline both of those. And we're going to move into position here. And we'll give it another 5 minutes, and then I think we will call it an episode. Are you slowly but surely winning that battle over there? It's just anti-air and garrisons. Should be pretty straightforward. Okay. Little random division there, and okay, a breaking, not good. Let's go and have a little look in this part of the world. So that's held there. We can move that Australian unit over there. Let's take some of the armor and actually move them into this part of the world. Yeah, we should defend and be able to win that. John Cocker. That's a very good name you've got there, Mr. Cocker. Okay. Cruiser search radar, and then we've got fire control computer, and then, oh, there's a few things on capital text that we could do with. So that's good. We'll bear that in mind. Move into Amsberg. Okay. Right, let's make sure we can't beat that back. In fact, we can. Does this... That feels like it might be an offensive option going on over here. Like, yeah, they're moving into Greece, but they're not proper divisions. Yeah, Hills Woods isn't terrain I need to be overly worried about. We can move you into here. And yeah, Monty's army's suffering a little bit, but it's not too bad. Right, and everyone, I think we're going to call it an episode here. I'm pretty happy with the progress that we're making overall. We're starting to move into southern France, and we've got some units freed up to deal with that now, which is good going. That's a bit of a pain. Not as much of a fan of that, of being pushed back in kind of the Far East. But in Europe, I've got to say, we're doing pretty well, and we've got a pretty sizable amount of divisions with which to start pushing out towards the centre of Europe, which is good. And a couple more reinforcements coming on the way as well. So, yeah, this is, all things considered, pretty good. So we've got about 10 units to try and move into France, and then a couple of others elsewhere. Now, I'm imagining, yeah, the Marines and things are going to be available next month. So what we might do is we might come back in maybe like a month or two's time. It might be May when I start recording again. And I might launch an early Operation Overlord with the Marine units that I'm building over here. And I might send them in maybe even towards like kind of the Dutch lands to retake them and open up yet another front, because we're gonna, I think, try and support our allies over here. We're gonna make a move right towards Budapest and keep that in place, and then if we can, you know, kind of surround this and take some of the pressure off around here, then these units will all be freed up to go push northwards. So the whole underbelly of Europe thing might actually work out, but we'll see. We're only, how many kilometers? We're only 350 kilometers from our 320 kilometers from our respective fronts. So that isn't that far to have to push out, especially if we're pushing through open terrain like we are over here. So those things should stand us in good stead. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing the next episode of Hearts of Iron 3. Thanks again. Bye-bye.